January 11th, 2018, the day that Nintendo officially announced the end of the 3DS.
Hold it right there. Officially?
Well, not really officially. It was more unofficial.
Okay, so you're just talking out of your ass again. Gotcha.
Okay, well, stay with me here, because on January 11th, 2018, that's when Nintendo had their first Nintendo Direct of the year. And during that Nintendo Direct, they announced that The World Ends With You is being ported to the Switch. Don't you understand the gigantic repercussions of the severity of porting games from the 3DS to the Switch?
Yeah, games get ported all the time to different systems. What's the big deal with this one?
Okay, well, stay with me here. If they're gonna be porting The World Ends With You, a DS game, not even a 3DS game, to the Nintendo Switch, what does that say about every game in the entire DS and 3DS library?
What?
That they're all fair game to be ported to the Switch. And at that point, why would anyone be buying games for the 3DS or the DS if they could just wait for it to come out for the Switch and have all your games on one console?
I don't see why this is such a big deal. If you want to go get the game and play it, go out and buy it now.
Well, yeah, if you're made of money, go ahead. Buy every game that comes out that ever came out that you ever wanted, and you don't have any issues with anything, yeah, it's great. But for those of us that live on this planet and actually care about how much money we're spending on video games, I like to avoid buying the same game over and over and over again. Especially when there are so many other games to be played right now. Why am I going to dive over someone else to go get this game on the DS or 3DS when I can play other games and wait for the game that I want on the DS, 3DS to be ported to the Switch to actually get there?
Okay, but how do you know it's even gonna be ported to the Switch? There's no guarantees.
Okay, and if it doesn't get there, then 10, 15 years down the road, I'll go to eBay, I'll buy a used copy of it, and I'll play it at that point. But we all know by now, anyone who's been in gaming has seen this trend of games being remade, ported, remastered, updated, and brought to new systems as time goes on. There is literally no reason to be buying a game on an older system now, especially if that game will be ported to the newer system. And if you really want to play that game, then wait. That's the best advice I could give.
Your best advice is to wait. Okay, well, your advice is trash.
Alright, my opinions are trash. Coming from a guy who knows his days are numbered. You want me to actually really respect your opinion? I mean, come on. The best Nintendo could do in the latest Direct is tell us that there's a Luigi's Mansion coming to it. But not a new one. The actual GameCube version of Luigi's Mansion is being ported from the GameCube to the 3DS, which is a head-scratcher in itself. But you're not even getting a new Luigi's Mansion. That should tell you enough right there that Nintendo doesn't care about the 3DS going forward. Why is this idea so hard to get through your thick plastic skull?
Because Nintendo is still making new games for the 3DS. Detective Pikachu just came out with a huge amiibo.
Alright, great. For you guys out there that actually really want to get Detective Pikachu, have at it. For me, I'm gonna wait for the Switch port, because eventually, if it's a good enough game, it'll come to the Switch. And if not, I'll wait down the road for it to go on sale, be used, someone else will be reselling it at a yard sale, or I'll be buying it off eBay for $5 or $10, and I'll play it at that point. But I have a feeling that no games coming out for the 3DS going forward will be a 3DS system exclusive for eternity, and I'm okay with waiting at this point. And I feel like that's what this whole situation comes down to. Patience. Are you okay to be waiting for your game to be ported to the Switch? And if you are, the 3DS days are numbered.
Your point being?
Point being, The World Ends With You is kind of a test run for this example to see if these ported 3DS games will sell well on the Switch hardware, which I assure you it will. And once it does, Nintendo higher-ups will see those numbers and they won't be able to ignore it, and they'll start porting 3DS game and DS games and every other old game to the Nintendo Switch for people to enjoy and for people who have already purchased them to buy them all over again.
Okay, but it just sounds like you're being a hater on the 3DS right now.
I love you, man. I really do. And all those memories I have of us taking you to work, riding the train with you on the bus, going on lunch breaks, everything we did together. No one can ever take those memories away. Unfortunately, it's gonna turn into nostalgia because there's better options that have been created since those times, and I'm gonna stick with the Switch going forward because I'm taking a stand here. I am not gonna be buying the same game twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, which I've done in the past. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm gonna start waiting and being patient and letting the games come to me when they do.
You sound absolutely nuts right now. What about Radiant Historia? Didn't you enjoy that game? Wasn't it incredible? Why would you have waited to play that game? Because it's so much fun. You can play it right now without waiting.
I haven't even played Radiant Historia yet. When I heard about Radiant Historia and how great it was on the DS, I was looking to buy it and I was like, oh, it's a little bit too much. I'll wait for the price to drop a little bit. And by the time it started dropping a little bit, I saw they were making a remake on the 3DS. So then I figured I'd just wait for that one. And then that one came out, and then I heard about The World Ends With You being ported to the Switch, and I'm like, well, they're probably going to just port Radiant Historia to the Switch eventually as well. And that kind of sums up the whole problem with this situation right there. I'm just waiting for these games to come out to the Switch.
That may work for you now, but then what do you do when Nintendo announces the sequel to the Switch?
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe there'll be another system or an update to the Switch down the road, but that's going to be a long time from now. And I can't really imagine them coming out with something so much better than the Switch that I'm going to want to leave my Switch.
Ha, that's funny. You said the same thing about me.
Did I say that about you? Well, my point is, obviously technology is going to keep getting better, and systems and graphics and processor power and being able to do things with the systems that you could never do before will always be happening as time progresses. But I wonder to what end this is getting to, because I feel like the Switch has kind of reached a pinnacle of gaming and of how good it can get on the go. Maybe things can get better, like graphics and processors, but I'm having so much fun playing games on my Switch that none of that stuff really matters to me.
Right up until they upgrade it.
Yeah, you're right. Probably until they upgrade that. But what I'm saying is, as of right now, I want all my games on the Switch. I'll just wait for them to be ported. And to be quite honest, I have so many games on my Switch right now that I'm backed up on and playing that I don't have time to even look at the 3DS library. I'll let the great games get ported and then I'll look at them, because right now I'm flooded with games. But let me know out there what you guys think about this. Do you feel like the 3DS is completely dead now that Nintendo's starting to port games to the Switch? Or do you feel like there's still some life left in it? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Smash